Hey there guys, Jeeps here with a new challenge video. Today we're going to be following the Brady Games official strategy guide of Resident Evil 4 by Dan Burlew, which just so happens to be my favorite game ever. And well, to put it simply, I'm going to go through the game very specifically and closely following the guide and its strategies in order to make Daddy Capcom as proud as possible. So I do hope you enjoy. I've put a lot into this video, and if you like it, hopefully you'll subscribe for more horror videos alike. Oh, and quick disclaimer, I had the HD mod installed on my game, but I tried to uninstall it to do some other things, and for the first half of this video, half of the footage that I got, it's a little wonky because it didn't uninstall properly, and let's just say the textures aren't necessarily right, but it fixes itself around chapter 3.5, so don't mind that. Thanks again, and let's jump right into chapter 1. First things first, we have to turn around and talk to our driver friends so they can tell us how much they love us one more time.
Forget your makeup or something?
After that, turns out the guide has a huge thing against birds, so we're just going to shoot these crows for some easy money. Our path to the right is blocked by a huge truck, but the guide makes it clear to check this box behind the house before heading in. Useful. Now that we're inside, this guy is really unhappy about us invading his home and privacy, so we're going to shoot him. Once he's down, some more people will make some ruckus outside, and even if we try to go out the way we came in, we can't because they're pushing against the door. Fortunately, we can head upstairs, grab this very important handgun ammo, and jump out the window for some fresh air. The guy specifically says here to let the enemies move forward until they're close together, shoot the front one in the face, and then knock them all down with one kick. After that, it's free game. Once all the enemies are dispatched, we're going to head over to the cliffside to see our Uber drivers in. Yeah, no, they're probably fine. Don't worry about them. Now that the truck has moved, we can move on down the path. We're told to clear the cabin of its items, including some handgun ammo and a green herb, and then forced to save here per the guide. The guide writers really thought that fight was some tough stuff, I guess. Moving along down the path, we're instructed to save Doggo from the bear trap, which is good, because it was happening no matter what, even if this guide said not to. We're specifically instructed to shoot these two bear traps at the start to save our little legs and to grab this red herb hiding in the grass. The rest of the route is mostly fair game as it puts out a warning to kill all enemies and gather items in preparation for the next area. Now that we're in the Pueblo area, all we have to do is walk forward and look through our binoculars here to inspect the area. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to leave our drivers a tip for this one. The guide knows that this area is great for battle and wide open, so the options are too endless for them to tell us exactly how to do it, so they give us free rein to deal with it as we see fit. After a careless death, then 14 Ganados destroyed, the church bell rings. Leon has his witty moment and we climb this roof to get this spindle because that's the only thing important in this area to the book. Moving on to the farm area, we're instructed to grab the note for the blue medallions, the fancy-wancy pocket watch here, and the beer stein, which is a treasure item with more combinable components later. The guide doesn't really say I have to get all the blue medallions, but we're just going to do it to be safe. After gathering a few more spindles and shooting the last medallion in the farm area, we move on to get chased by a rock like an action movie. After that leg workout, we're faced with a tunnel with some shiny objects we need to shoot down and collect. At the end of the tunnel, we have a lot of dynamite-wielding enemies that the guide wants us to shoot with perfect timing with the shotgun after they throw their dynamite for maximum efficiency. After clearing out the area, we shoot down a family of baby birds in order to get this red cat's eye, which combines with the beer sign, and then head inside. All we're told to do is grab the items inside and save if needed, so after collecting up, we head to the bag to rescue our old pal Lewis, just to get tied up immediately. In Chapter 1-2, we're not given much time to get acquainted with Lewis before we're almost executed. At this point, Lewis makes a run for it and leaves us to deal with the creepy old man trying to sell me stuff. Wasn't I taught to avoid this? Nah, just kidding. We love the merchant around here, as creepy as he can be. Here, we're told we need to buy the sniper rifle to make this as easy as possible. So we buy it after making sure we loot everything and head to this crack in the wall to start popping heads off enemies on every height level. Once we take out a few, we equip our shotgun in case we get put in a tight corner and start collecting the emblem pieces. Fortunately, the guide isn't too specific on how to do this part, so once we have the emblem, we're out of here. There's not much going on in this next area other than a kill all enemies type deal. We are told to jump through this window, to hide behind this cover perfectly so we can take out these dynamite guys, and to inspect the furnaces here for some goodies that are not burnt up for some reason. After that's said and done, it's time to go fishing. Oh yeah, everybody's favorite part. There's also some other stuff we have to grab down here, but fish. Going up the ladder, we come out at a new cabin where our highest priority is bird domination, specifically with the use of this C4 tripwire. Yeah, it says that. Turning left, we will find another shiny pocket watch to grab for our collection and a cabin to empty out. Once that's done, we have to solve the hardest puzzle in the game. And loot some old guy's room, finding some money, some ammo, and a really nice key. Okay, the old guy really did not like that. Chapter 1-3 starts with us looting the old man's house after he almost killed us for looting his house. We grab an incendiary grenade, some money, and a brown chicken egg from the stove. By the way, I had the best luck getting golden eggs this playthrough so far. I've found like 4 at this point. Oh, and we interrupted this guy doing his business. Not our fault he didn't lock the door. Once the house is looted, we go outside to find a group of hooligans that include a big boy chainsaw guy. The guide wants us to grab their attention and then bring them all back into the house so we can funnel them through the staircase and kill them with a shotgun. I thought this strategy was weird at first when I read it, but it actually turned out great and took no time at all to get our beloved Ruby. Heading down the path, we found a barred door that we unbar to find ourselves back at the Pueblo. The guy specifically says there is nothing new here and we need to head through to the church to save Ashley as fast as possible. We're offered the option to save at the typewriter if we deem necessary, but mostly we're just instructed to grab the items, including shooting this lamp down in order to find a spindle. Opening the hatch and dropping down, we find a large underground corridor with another lamp we can shoot down to reveal some shiny objects. Shooting them down yields 2 spindles and an elegant headdress. At the end of the hall is our brand new friend the merchant again, and fortunately the guide gives me the option to buy the TMP here. This is good considering it's been making me pick up the ammo for it this whole time. After doing some upgrading and organizing our inventory, we're finally at the church area. First things first, kill baby birds in order to get money and weaponry. I collect all the remaining blue medallions here and head to the back of the church after cleaning up some of these enemies to find a turnstile puzzle we have to solve to get the green cat's eye for our beer stein. I feel like the guide chose the weirdest way to solve this, but we're gonna go with it for the guide's sake. Basically, we're told to press 3 until all emblems on the turner are lit up. Then, to press 4 until only 2 of the family crests are shown, which should be the top one and the V-like one on the bottom. Then hit 3 one more time to finish it all out. A little more complicated than it has to be, but as long as the means meets an end. Nothing specific else is told to grab, so after grabbing the final medallion, we head into the quarry. Here, we're told to murder these crows piled up here with a hand grenade or a well-placed shotgun burst. And it literally says, if I miss, to reload the area to try again until I get it. We went with the hand grenade route, but I feel like this is a waste of a good hand grenade, considering one good flash will do the trick, and you get a flash from the birds. Now we're told to go to the waterway directly after the quarry, which I don't think anyone does, but all they require us to do here is pick up some items. But while I'm here, I stole some treasure and had a chat with our friend. They're going for the old throw a rock at us trick again, but just don't realize that we're fast as fuck, boy. So once we make it to the bottom alive, we're going to turn around and shoot down a spindle located in the cliffside behind us. Next, we're told to walk up to the wooden platform and kill the first line of ganados by shooting the tripwires behind them. I'm starting to think the person who wrote this really just likes explosions. From here, the guy separated this area into a clear east and west segments, with the goal of clearing the eastern segment first and then clearing the western segments of enemies next. All while grabbing a free hand grenade, incendiary grenade, and a fancy little pipe a baby bird inherited from its father. I actually had no idea this was in the game, so this was cool to find. At the end of the wooden walkway, we have 2 more enemies we dispose of and clear out the cabin of its items before we move on to the next area. Making our way up the hill is our priority here, as the guide wants us to see this cutscene where our Uber drivers get eaten by that level 100 Magikarp everyone looked for in Pokemon Platinum.
Shit. Vámonos. Okay, ándale.
Right after this cutscene, we're told to get the red herb hiding in the tall grass under the tree to the right. It was not to the right. It was to the left. I guess they meant after you turned around, but whatever. Dead birds, bracelet, herb, boss fight. The guide actually says this boss is named El Lago instead of Del Lago, which was always my impression of how it was pronounced. Fortunately, the guide only gives you how the boss works, not an exact way to defeat it. Honestly, the way this boss works, there's only really one way to do it. So after this fishy's had its fair share of harpoons to the back, we managed to take it down. And even though we did, it wants one more stab at taking us down. So in order to not get drugged to the bottom of this very gross looking lake, we're going to have to mash X into the next chapter here. Yeah, Leon's not looking so hot right now. Now that Leon is awake from his nappy nap, we can go on to collecting everything in the cabin we woke up in, and very importantly, shooting some fish off the dock for some good nutrition, of course. Instead of moving on here, the guide insists we explore a bit, so we'll be hopping onto the boat and heading towards the Blue Flames to find a merchant hideout. In here, we're mostly tasked with shooting these torches for spindles and grabbing the green gem, the first combinable piece for our elegant mask. But of course, I had to assert some dominance on the big man before we left. Now, from here, the guy says that exploring is optional. However, directly after that, it wants us to go to the swamps to collect the items in the cabin near the door there. In order to do that, however, we have to do the optional objectives, which is to collect the new items from the original cabin across the lake and also take out the newly introduced wolf enemies. Pretty cool cutscene, honestly, that can be easily missed. Anyways, we got the 2 items and killed 1 dude. Now we can progress forward. Walking forward from here, we have our very first encounter with the Las Plagas. Other than some information about the Plagas, like how to start avoiding shooting heads as much so you don't spawn them, or that once a Plagas is popped, enemies' bodies only take 1/3 of damage, we're not required to do much other than dispatch this one and loot him for some hefty gold bars. We move on through the path, collecting items as we go, and rappel down the rope to the area below. We climb up to this platform to dispatch this enemy who died from fall damage. Collect the items and shoot the spindle on the cliffside from here, since I guess this is the best vantage point. After that's done, we're going to move along the path to shoot down this box to create a path for ourselves. Normally, I would just shoot these from the top before we rappel, but I digress. Anyways, ring, box, lever, cave, open. The strategy given to us to dispose of these enemies is to come forward and spawn them, and then jump back across the boxes in order to turn around and shoot them, causing them all to instantly fall into the raging water below. This strat is actually pretty fun to do, honestly. Now that they're all gone, we'll head through the cave to grab the round insignia, move forward to find ourselves on the other side of the waterway where we pick up some items and a spindle, and then hop on the boat to head to the quarry. We grab some free items from the barrels and head in to find the monstrous El Gigante. The main strat the guy suggests here is to throw flash grenades and absolutely spam Gigante with the TMP, which actually works really well, as I was able to make the Plagas pop really easily. If you don't have any flashes, well, good luck, don't get hit. The guy doesn't mention anything about shooting his Plagas for extra damage, so I guess we're going to be going all old-fashioned cutty-cutty on our old friend here. All in all, with the TMP and grenade strats, we took him down in 2 easy cycles, and we can't forget to thank our doggy friend who came to our aid because we saved him from the bear trap earlier. The guy doesn't actually say to collect all the items after we've beaten Gigante other than his massive 15k wealth, but I did it for the sake of it, and now we're headed back to the graveyard where the church lies. Here, we run into some more Wolfie Boy enemies that the guide insists we take out with hand grenades, and hand grenades exactly. This strat is rough, to say the least. The first try didn't go so well because I missed all of them with my grenade and got turned into dinner. The second attempt was a bit more lucky with their movement, but overall this doesn't seem like the best way to do this for sure. After taking out the baby birds for their armament once again, we put the round insignia in the door and head inside the church. All we're required to do here is collect the items, including the church's hefty donation bin and a flash grenade. After we head upstairs, we do a little swinging on the chandelier like Sia right into a light puzzle we'll need to solve to access Ashley. Fortunately, we have the guide because I definitely don't know the solution to this at all. Not me. Never done it before. Anyways, we're going to turn the red light twice, the green light 3 times, and the blue light a humble once to solve the puzzle and rescue our best friend, Ashley, the president's daughter. After looting the room full of things Ashley could have used to escape with, we jump down the ladder, catch our newfound friend, and have a run-in with the cult leader and main villain Osmond Sadler.
My name is Osmond Sadler.
He talks a lot, but we jump out a window so we don't hear him babble to end chapter 2-1. To start off chapter 2-2, we're in this small room off to the side of the church where all we'll need to do is, you guessed it, collect all the items and head outside to find a horde of enemies blocking our path. Fortunately, all we have to do here is walk up close to get Ashley to have her only good idea ever, which is to shoot the cart with the barrels in front of us. Once we shoot it, we take out most of the enemies, causing us only to have a little cleanup to do. We collect our dropped items and head to the merchant cave once again. We have some new upgrades available, so now that the guide finally mentions it, I'm going to take advantage of it. So after doing some business with the shady salesman, we move through the cave to collect a specific box of handgun ammo and another spindle from the hanging lantern, making sure Ashley is out of the way and doesn't get hurt. Pity. Now we're tasked with moving through the Pueblo at nighttime, but this time there is hardly as many enemies and some traps set up. We aren't required to start taking out enemies. All we have to do is collect all the new items that have spawned here, which is pretty much just a spindle in the watchtower. After some smooth moves and dodges from yours truly, we're in the farm area. In the farm area, we're instructed to hide Ashley here and take out every enemy. While we take out these enemies, there's also a note to be collected by Lewis, a lot of empty boxes to break open, and some items to actually collect. Oh yeah, and we specifically have to shoot every bear trap because even the guide knows if Ashley can get stuck, she will get stuck. We're going to play a game of piggyback here, and absolutely nobody is going to look up Ashley's skirt because there's no horny allowed here, and she's going to unlock the large door for us from the other side, leading to a long path with a suspension bridge and a merchant.
Welcome.
It's emphasized in this moment we should make as much upgrades as possible, go forward to talk to Hunnigan, and then go all the way back outside the area and then back in, basically in order to save your merchant trip at a checkpoint so you don't have to do it every time if the cabin is a rough point for you. By the way, look at these villagers. My game is so whack right now because I had the HD mod installed and I tried to uninstall it for some other things, but it just made the graphics weird, and this made me laugh out loud whenever I saw it. The guide actually never specifies, but the idea here is to kill 40 enemies in the cabin. Using the guide's strategy, we're going to push all the bookshelves in front of the windows to buy ourselves some time to pick up the items downstairs and firmly plant our feet at the base of this staircase and wait. And wait. Yeah, they take a while to break through these, but once they start coming through, the idea is to blast them with a shotgun when they get too close and hope Lewis helps, which in this cabin, he actually did really well. Once Lewis decides we need to go upstairs, we're told to follow him while suppressing any enemies following us up the stairs, and then listening for the glass to break to indicate the Ganadas have started trying to climb through the windows and to start knocking their ladders down. We're also told to use the grenade sitting up here to help neutralize enemies coming up the stairs, so here's a clip of me roasting this guy in our biz. After some more fighting and holding strong, we're able to fight off the horse surprisingly pretty easily and are ready to take on Chapter 2-3.
Lewis.
2-3 leaves off in the cabin we just committed a absolute massacre in, and all we really have to do here is collect some ammo from these logs and a note explaining the two paths ahead. We aren't instructed to interact with the merchant here, so sorry buddy. The guide gives us a choice in paths to take, so having a solid head on our shoulders, we choose the right path. The guide is going to allow us to move through here quickly in order to protect Ashley's health. So we move forward to trigger the Gigante, shoot the chains to get through to grab the old key, and shoot down the purple gem for our elegant mask. But unfortunately, she kinda got in the way. So on take 2, we're able to secure everything much smoother and head through the door at the end of the valley to get to the gondola. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Jeeps, the red gem is on the other side. Aren't you gonna get it for the elegant mask, Jeeps? And the answer to that question is no. It sucks over there, and the guide doesn't require it, but here's where it is exactly if you really want to know. Back to the gondola area, we collect some handgun ammo off a trash can and move inside this house to pick up a note and some rifle ammo out of a locker before we continue to examine the only door out of the village, which seems to use a retinal scanner. That is some prime technology for this village. After collecting an item from this barrel, we're on the gondola. As for the gondola, the only specifics the guide mentions is this part is much easier with a TMP, so that's all I used to shoot down the enemies as we descended. At the base of the gondola, we head into the main power room to collect some items before heading down the first flight of stairs and telling Ashley to wait here for us while we explore the cavern ahead. We're instructed to use either a hand grenade or incendiary grenade to take out the guards to the entrance, but it didn't go exactly as planned. I'm sure the guide will still be proud. After climbing up the ladder and taking out this guy, we get the yellow cat's eye, the final piece to our beer stein we got so long ago. Once we get to the bottom of the stairs, we collect all the "there's clearly a boss fight coming up" ammo, and talk to the merchant finally as the guide highly suggests we get our tune-ups. As high as possible and buy first aid sprays as needed. I took that as, buy them all, so I got to. Now that we're beefed up and ready to go, we head on down the hill to face the big cheese himself. Fun fact, the guide actually calls this the torture room, which is actually kind of morbid, but I never knew that was its name. The main strat the guide has for defeating Mendez is simple. Shoot his spine, a lot, with a shotgun. Oh, and shoot this barrel near him for large amounts of damage and a spinel. Once the first phase is completed, we head up to the rafters to be able to get a quote-unquote better vantage point. But honestly, fighting him up here sucks, and I don't suggest it. Ideally, we would have taken him out with 4 to 5 incendiary grenades we would have picked up along the way, since he's extremely weak to fire, but whatever. I still did it the way the guide wanted. Mendez isn't really all that tough, so once he's down, we loot him for his old man money and his juicy eyeball. Loot the remainder of the torture chamber and head all the way to the village exit to give that bad boy a scan. Here, we're going to immediately turn right to collect some ammo, walk forward to cause this maniac truck guy to kill his friends before we kill him with a sick headshot and avoid the crash. We're then told to start running up the hill to collect our items and suppress the new enemies that somehow survived that crash unscathed. They were easy to suppress. Breaking the barrels here, we'll find our first Velvet Blue, a new beautiful treasure we will be finding in the castle from now on, and also my 3-month subscriber badge on Twitch, which you should follow me on if that's your thing. Also, look at these Ganados. They really remind me of the Polygon Fighters from Smash 64 right here, since my game is so weird right now. Don't worry, we get that fixed later. Anyways, at the end of the path, we have a cutscene where Ashley actually does something and helps Leon raise the drawbridge, effectively trapping us in the castle we know nothing about, but leading us right into Chapter 3. Now that we're in the castle, or on the outskirts at least, we're instructed to destroy some crates and barrels to find some items, and to shoot one in particular because it has a sneaky snake in it. There's also a chest with 5,000 pesetas in it for us to claim. We grab the green herb the merchant is hoarding, then head into his shop to find he has a whole load of new armament. Per the guide, we sell all our weapons and treasure in order to purchase the large attaché case, the blacktail pistol, the riot gun shotgun, and the semi-auto rifle, while narrowly avoiding the broken butterfly magnum as we have been tipped off that there is one inside the castle. Apparently, we should be able to blast through the entire rest of the game with this stuff. Now to the so-called battlement area. Once here, we pick up some rifle ammo and immediately use it to take out 2 cultists with no idea what's going on. After they're taken out, we head up the stairs, pausing to wait for the cannons to fire, then scurry on forward and head to the left to loot the dead guys we just killed. And to look at the cannon we have to raise up to the next floor. Yup, it's a cannon. Moving on upstairs, we take out a catapult cultist by shooting a red barrel from an unsuspecting angle, take out another the same way by shooting through some battlements, then pick on a guy because he's wearing yellow hat. Bet those chest shots don't feel so good now, huh, buddy? Once yellow hat guy is down, we steal a yellow herb from the room he was in, take out another catapult, and instruct Ashley to stay here while we take out the final catapultist. This one has to go down by being shot personally instead of a red barrel, and it has to be fast or all of our cover could get blown up, but he goes down easy and we raise the cannons, shooting down the wall and despawning remaining enemies. We stop to pick up Ashley and a gold bangle and a treasure chest. Visit the merchant. Yes, just visit. I don't need to buy anything, so, hi. Actually, fun fact, here is a hidden spindle. The guy didn't mention it. It's okay, Mr. Guide Guy. You can't know everything. Sword room. Hell yeah. First, we're going to grab the ammo on the table along with some money looting of the cabinet and then grab the nice shiny platinum sword on the wall. Head upstairs to trigger the enemies and then head back down to funnel them all in easy peasy. Collect some more money at the top of the stairs and find another fancy gold sword where the platinum one is supposed to be. Apparently the cultists don't like matching objects because a whole lot more of them came in when we put the platinum sword where it was supposed to be. After we take them out, we take out the red hooded leader with some rifle shots and put the gold sword back in its helm to open the door forward. Hi Lewis. Bye Lewis. We savagely take out this cultist with a sniper shot, and from here we have been given the option to wait and funnel the enemies in or to go in hard charging. Of course I chose the latter. The only real specific thing about this room from the guide is to shoot this crossbow guy with a sniper. 2 shield guys are waiting here for us, and the guide says a crazy way to deal with them is to run them all the way back to the red barrel at the beginning of the area. So, me being crazy, I tried it. And it didn't really work out the way I wanted, so I settled with an incendiary grenade, which was also an option the guide gave. In the next room, we collect some items to include a velvet blue and the castle gate key. Oh yeah, we did all this because the doors are locked. Guide Guy insisted this red barrel isn't helpful with the flood of enemies that come in because they come in so fast. I beg to differ. I got all of them but one, and he was a pushover after that. The trick with the barrel is you just have to be fast, and sometimes it's hard to be fast, and that's okay. Anyways, time for everyone's favorite short man laugh. After the Castellan finishes his spill, a giant wall with a chimera-shaped indent blocks our path. After investigating it, we can turn around to see a shiny object up on the wall, which is the purple gem for another elegant mask we're going to be getting. After grabbing that and a velvet blue, we head into the next room to steal 5,000 pesetas from Osmond Sadler's face, grab a yellow herb and the prison key to unlock our next door. At the door of the prison, we shoot down some shotgun shells from the scaffolding inside, which I thought was neat because I had never noticed it before. After telling Ashley to wait here, we open up the door to the prison and head down to claim our shells and a green herb and meet the Garrador. The Garrador is blocking the switch we need to pull to progress. The big gist here is to shoot him in the plagas on his back and walk instead of run because the Garrador is blind, not deaf, and hears your hurtful words. Once the Garrador is bested, we head back up the stairs with our path opened. Having Ashley to follow us once again, we head back down the way we came first, but now there are cultists flooding in. So naturally, we set them on fire with a lamp, blew them up with our own dynamite, and stole their handgun ammo before moving on. Alright, this is it, the dreaded water hall. I hope the guide really has a good strategy for this because, honestly, no one really does. In the guide for this room, there was literally no strategy. The guide just tells you what happens, basically. Nobody is safe from the water hall. In the observation hall, we find some relaxation and pick up a spindle and hand grenade before talking to the merchant, being allowed by the almighty guide to perform some tune-ups on our weapons. I swear this is the most money I've ever had in a single playthrough so far. I digress. After everything is nice and tuned up, we head down the hall and, unfortunately, lose Ashley to a wall because she wanted to be a brat, which will bring our Chapter 3-1 to a close. Moving on down to the castle's prisons, we run into our bug-eyed Splinter Cell wannabe friends for the first time, no Vistadors. The guide has us zoom in with our sniper rifle to get a good look at them and take them out with a headshot. But the game hasn't given me any ammo, so I did it the old-fashioned way. Basically, all we have to do is fight our way through here. Surviving is the guide's main point, as well as collecting miscellaneous items on the way. After draining the water and collecting the butterfly lamp, we escape the prison just to find swinging pendulums in our way. With proper timing, these are a joke and easy to get past to gain a velvet blue and some more money before moving on. The cultists are having a meeting and we're about to disrupt it. The guide's immediate action is to blow these guys up with a rocket, if it's available. But it hasn't told me to buy one, and that's just not cost effective. The alternative method it gives is to stun them with a flash grenade and then jump down and throw a hand grenade in the middle for maximum effectiveness. I ended up nabbing all 10 spindles here as well as the coveted Illuminados pendant. Climbing back up the ladder and doing some chandelier swinging back and forth is going to net us another velvet blue and the second elegant mask I mentioned earlier. The merchant has moved to just in front of this pretty pink door here, and after selling our new treasures and purchasing some new tune-ups, we head through the monster looking door. Not expecting to see Boo or anything. Totally not. The guide doesn't say much about this room. We take out the balcony enemies with a sniper rifle immediately after entering, while the red cloaked enemies make a run for it for now. After fighting our way to the top where our red friend is, he runs away from us. The guide really wants us to take care of this guy before he can get to the lower level, because if he makes it there, he raises a turret that makes it quote-unquote almost impossible to beat without a rocket. I'm starting to think this guy just likes rockets. Anyways, we were able to take him out with 5 sniper shots, take his gallery key from him, and open up the door to the gallery to a velvet blue and a puzzle. The idea behind this puzzle is to get 6 people total in the portraits. The solution? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, right? Oh no, Salazar is ambushing us. What shall we do? The only thing the guide really wants us to do is come through this rusty door. It is a good way to get upstairs, but it's free reign after that, so we deactivate the security measure and while avoiding rockets and arrows galore, grab the goat ornament, the first of 3 for the door in the main hall, and get outside to catch some fresh air. It feels awfully good outside, especially when we can commit some crow murder. There's not much else out here for us as we examine a locked door we can't get into right now without Ashley. Ah, the courtyard maze, a beautiful area really. We make our way through here and examine the door, seeing we need to fill some type of indentation. Salazar tries to be rude again, but we don't take his sass. Heading inside the maze, we snag a velvet blue under the bridge and run into some more dog enemies. These guys are trapped in a kennel and the guide wants us to heartlessly kill these defenseless creatures. Can't you see how cute and cute they are? Red chest, shotgun shells. Now we finally made it to our first moonstone half and equip an incendiary grenade for the trip back. It literally just says to equip it, so I'm just going to run past these guys to find a yellow herb and another red chest containing another piece of our elegant mask. The final red chest holds the first aid spray for us, and we can finally grab the other moonstone half and make a dash for the entrance. We have a run-in with an old friend, to say the least. For some reason, the guide has us collecting the items, including the mirror behind the merchant under Chapter 3-2, even though it ends after the cutscene with our friend in the red dress. So after collecting that and doing some talking to the merchant, we're ready to tackle the shortest chapter in the game. Finally, a short chapter, right? Right! Actually, aside from a little exploring, the guide is going to make this very straightforward. As we move into the Last Supper corridor, we break a clay pot for some shotgun shells and read the clues inscribed on the wall trying to help us go forward. But before we do that, we need to head down the hall to find another room off to the side. By the way, the Novicidor in this room actually kind of caught me off guard. I know that they're in here after you get Ashley back, but I don't think I've ever seen them in here before, so this was like a complete surprise to me. After we collect the items in here, we shoot the lock, revealing that this connected outside the whole time, and head back to the Last Supper corridor to finish our puzzle. Chicken, bread, dessert, then wine. Or just wine, because I tried to shoot the other ones and it didn't really do anything. As we walk in, we quickly become trapped in a cage surrounded by enemies. Fortunately, the guide gives us free reign here, as the only priority is breaking out of the cage and being sure to grab our free flash grenade, magnum ammo, and a fancy little hourglass. In the next room, we walk forward slowly as to not get detected and then take out some floor enemies with our sniper rifle to make quick work of them, so we can grab some more sniper rifle ammo and drop down to pull the switch that raises the bridge across this room. After fighting our way across the bridge, we head slightly down the stairs to be able to take out a crossbow sniper with our own. There's a free rocket launcher here, so of course we're going to take it and then make a break for the exit to find another free spindle and the merchant just kind of chilling, like he always does. The guide does mention if you don't have room for the rocket launcher here, not to stress because the merchant has the attaché case XL here at this point, so I took that as I could buy it now. But no attaché case could prepare for the sight of our lost friend in the next room. Towering over Lewis's body and filled with a sense of justice, the chapter ends. And the next one is immediately ruined by hearing Ashley whimpering. I'm mourning, Ashley, shut up. Anyways, our first mission in 3-4 is to go around the surroundings gathering items like knocking down Sadler's ugly mug for some free cash once again. Now, it's time to save Ashley. Fortunately, the guide gives basically zero guidance here and just says to shoot her free and don't let her get taken away. We can make that happen. Ashley grabs the key from the red zealot.
I got the key! I can get out!
And we gain control of her. Everybody's favorite part. I can't lie, this is the part I was dreading the most while following a guide. This is really easy if you know what you're doing already, but collecting things here can be annoying. That aside, we grab our free spindle and yellow herb and head into the first room. Fortunately, the guide lets us know of the secret passage onwards and allows us to use that, while only giving us the option of throwing lanterns at the enemies here. Here we have to crank up some gates to proceed, but not before grabbing another spindle and a few pesetas. Heading on down the passage, we take a red herb and open a door at the opposite corner to find the butler's study of sorts and completely loot it for a velvet blue, a spindle, and even some handgun ammo. It really makes me wonder what was going through this butler's mind. After examining the painting for clues on our objective, we head out and into the next room. Don't ask me where Ashley got the flashlight from. I've always wondered myself. Once entering this room, we're going to immediately turn left and crawling to an open area to press a switch that will open a gate. Then entering the middle section, ensuring we grab the piece of stone tablet before raising another gate by pressing a similar switch. In the area we've opened now, we can grab a green herb before pushing the bookshelf to reveal a final switch, opening our way through. Before we leave this room, we ensure to grab some more treasure for our loot-hungry selves off the furniture. On down the dusky, gloomy corridor, there are knights. Knights the guide would like us to specifically take note of. I wonder why. At the stone tablet puzzle, the guide's solution is interesting, to say the least, so I'm just gonna show you. Here's me doing it. Yeah, that's extra. That's extra, but it works, and the door's open now. From the chest, we can receive a pretty gold bangle, and this room also harbors a spindle. Taking the Salazar family insignia from the wall will reveal a chest with our next ornament in it. The Serpent Ornament. Grabbing the ornament causes the armor to spring to life, and fortunately the guide isn't very particular on how you dip and dodge your way back to the butler's quarters to place the Salazar family insignia to reveal a ladder leading out of here. At the top of the ladder, we grab some more pesetas and make our way down the long hallway to rejoin Leon in a somewhat beautiful reunion.
Leon!
Ashley!
You did good.
I'm sorry if I was...
Oh, don't worry about it. Come on, let's move on.
Now that we have our bestest friend Ashley back, we can tackle Chapter 4-1, which is easily the longest and most daunting chapter in the game, so we're going to try our best to power through it. First and foremost, we can now backtrack a little, and through the power of friendship, we can send Ashley to unlock the mysterious door from earlier, netting us some items, including a elegant perfume bottle and a completely free, brand spanking new Broken Butterfly Magnum. Next, we find ourselves in the Dragon Room. The name is kind of self-explanatory. Our first goal is to kill the machinists operating the floating dragons in order to raise one red chest per enemy holding 5,000 pesetas and a coveted Illuminados pendant. We jump on the merry-go-round of death, stopping just short of getting off to take care of the enemies on the path ahead and move forward to activate the final dragon and machinist. We sidestep out of the way to avoid any heat damage and turn around to take out the newly spawned enemies prior to dealing with the flame-breathing monster right in front of our face. I know. Makes sense, right? The guy's strategy of taking down this dragon is to simply run to one corner waiting for it to turn to you. Once it's about to breathe fire, then you run like out of the other side in order to get a shot off at the machinist operating it. Now that he is taken out, we head up the stairs to the blue treasure chest and claim the lion ornament as our prize and head all the way back to board the rail car in order to reach the audience hall, causing things to come full circle here. Time to finally place our ornaments. After the door is open, we head through the new area up a flight of stairs to stand where Salazar stood when we first met him, also leading us to some gold bars hiding behind yet another Sadler portrait and a free hand grenade before returning downstairs and heading through the next door. We hop onto the mysterious rail car to find a new destination. This place is huge. The portrait of the man in this room is hiding some more gold bars, and that's all we'll need to grab before moving on. Entering into the main annex, we head north to obtain a flash grenade from the chair and shoot down all the shiny bits in the hallway to most notably obtain the final gem to our second elegant mask. Observing the royalty bust at the end of the hallway tells us we need to find the grails that sit in each prospective king and queen slot. The guide makes it clear you can do these in any order, but for the sake of following it, we'll head west first. But not before being given the option for a quick shopping trip. We have to be very sure to break this pot and to not shoot it. The guide would not want us shooting our friend on accident. After nabbing some tune-ups, we head into the weapon exhibition room and examine the locked door to learn how to open it if the pressure plates didn't make it obvious enough already. There's no specific way the guide wants it done, so once the door is open, we're through and run into our little friend once again.
I think you've lived long enough.
Salazar tries to kill us, but for some reason leaves a solution to survive in the room, so we break out and head down the hall where some dude driving a random-ass drill shows up to try to take out Ashley.
¡Mátalo! ¿Qué empiezas a decir?
We take them out first, allowing Ashley to move through the passage and secure the elegant chessboard for our own, as well as the Queen's Grail for progress. On to the East Wing, we command Ashley to wait at the door and proceed to dodge some suits of armor as Leon until we reach the King's Grail sitting in the open. The armadures begin to move once the grill is taken, and for the first three the guide wants us to sit in the corner until they get close, squeeze through them at the last second, and hit them all with a hand grenade at the same time, exposing the plagas and then throwing a flash grenade to dispose of all of them at once. It isn't specific about the second set, so we just kind of stomp on them and head back to the main hallway, placing our grails and entering the ballroom. We shoot some pots and claim some money in the main hallway before jumping through a window to the right to reach the outside. Here we climb up a ladder to find another conveniently placed butterfly lamp before jumping down into the main ballroom and catching Ashley as she falls.
Damn it! Ashley!
Okay, we caught her for nothing. We aren't required to shoot the hive down here, but it does mention what's inside of it, and it looks cool to see it fall, so here it is. The guide does, however, want us to run back into the hallway and funnel the Novistadors that way. Once clear, we hit the lever to attempt to lower the drawbridge, shoot the chain links binding it, and get out of here and run towards the clock tower. The guide isn't too specific about the clock tower exterior. All it wants us to do is take out these enemies on the side, and then we're allowed to slip in the easy way. Climbing the clock tower is also simple. We stop to shoot each wedge binding the gears, as well as grabbing some items like a green herb on the way, and pull the lever to rotate the bridge outside the tower. The clock tower floods with enemies, and all we have to do is fight our way out. Avoiding some dynamite and taking out some snipers gets us a free pass out the door. Upon exiting, we immediately take out the shield zealots before moving on to spawn another group of enemies. Once they're here, we turn around and head back towards the clock tower to take a stand at the door. Killing the ringleader here will net us a gold bangle for our treasure pile before entering the next room. The Twin Garradors. This room can kinda suck no matter how you put it. But this guide has the right idea. Rocket launcher. We have a free one anyways. So we take aim at the door behind them and pull the trigger, scorching the Plagas on their backs and opening up our way forward to Salazar. Salazar is feeling whimsical here and drops us into a pit, but we make his ears ring as a little payment.
How dare you! No more games! Kill him!
Even though that doesn't really change the fact that we're in a hole. One of the impaled zealots has a shiny crown for us to take for our own, and the merchant is also here, offering us a new shotgun called the Striker. The guide highly recommends we upgrade to this, and I have to say the same, so we purchase it and head up the ladder to the irrigation station. We make our way to an elevator that is inoperable due to the power being out. Heading down the hall, it becomes clear to us we're being followed, but we still find the power shut on. Hitting the switch and attempting to leave brings out Vertigo, Salazar's right-hand man. I choose to believe he's the butler from earlier, but that's for another day. This is another moment the guide highly recommends rocket launchers. All it takes is a little cold air getting knocked onto our boy and an explosion, and he's done for, and the elevator comes rolling. We get a crown jewel for our new crown for defeating Vertigo and head to the elevator to finally close out Chapter 4-1. That was a long haul, but things should slow down some now that we're in the mines. All the guide has us do is gear up here, collecting all the items including ammo and herbs before moving into the coal mine area. Moving into the mine, we kill the first two villagers we see while traversing the hall, stopping to read a warning on a nearby board. The guide doesn't want much of us here other than to collect some miscellaneous items around the area before preparing to blast the boulder. We pull the lever in the northwest to lower the trolley, but before it can reach its destination at the ground, it comes to a halt, causing us to have to go to the upper part of the mine to flip the circuit breaker, but not before grabbing a free velvet blue. We have to defeat the angry villagers coming in now as well, and as the guide names, the Chainsaw Maniac. His name is Dr. Salvador, and he has feelings too, Mr. Guide. Once the coast is finally clear, we pull the trolley lever a second time, allowing it to complete its cycle and netting us the dynamite we need to place on the boulder, blowing it to smithereens and clearing up our path. Aside from these two guys just chilling, watching all their friends die, and somehow surviving that explosion. Once they're gone, we can head into the next room. It's awfully hot in here. We grab some ammo and a first aid spray along the wall and head to the giant door, which opens, revealing the Twin Gigantes boss battle. The guide isn't too specific here. We're given the option of dumping one Gigante into the lava or killing them both for double rewards. The only thing we have to do here is use the scaffolding as leverage. We climb the ladder and stand here until the Gigantes come tearing us down, then using the zip line to separate ourselves. Repeating that process, the Gigantes go down and we can head through the next door. The Abyss. More Novistadors. Typically, I would leave them alone here, but the guide implores us to shoot the floating Novistadors with a sniper rifle upon entering the room to grab their attention. Then head back to the cave we entered from to make a stand there. There's a lot of bugs coming at you this way. Once the way is clear, we can head on up, reading the inscription 2 lights, leading us to a cave off to the side to turn on the first light. Once the light is on, more Novistadors funnel through, and we're left to take them on and hopefully not get overwhelmed in this very small room. On our way to the next cave of light, we collect several different types of ammo and a herb ribbed for our pleasure because we'll need it after turning on the second light and fighting our way to the now open door. Fortunately, the guide allows us to avoid combat this time, so we run to the exit door, examine it to open it, and kiss the Novistadors goodbye. We navigate through the pummeling stones the only way possible. Well, the right way. If you use the Ditman glitch here, you can just run without pulling the lever, but that's not why we're here. Finding the elevator out of here, we grab the royal insignia, which is the final piece for the crown that we got, and get out of Novistador hell and close out chapter 4-2. We're one step closer to facing our short king now, and our first step is to collect some materials and take a peek at a letter left by our lover. The merchant also offers new tune-ups we're given the option to purchase. Heading down the path and stopping at a lone tree, we snipe a large group of villagers in order to take them out from afar and completely ruin their bonfire. I hate to be the guy that interrupts the campfire song. After searching the ruins for some extra items in crates and on the ground, we hop through the window of a building in the corner, finding a crank, turning it to uncover a pit that, you guessed it, we have to go inside. After reading the inscription on the monolith near the entrance, we head down the tunnel and break a crate on the right for a random item. Once out of the tunnel, we snipe as many villagers from our vantage point as possible here before navigating the maze of bear traps in order to open the sarcophagus in the lower area to obtain the King's Rod item before attempting to obtain the heavily guarded key. Per the guide strategy, we will be slowly opening the downstairs door here and sniping Dr. Salvador 1 to weaken him considerably, then equipping the shotgun to blast our way up to the second floor. If things get too hot here, we're allowed to jump out the window to gain our composure, but once both chainsaw enemies are down, we're free to obtain the key to the mine after smashing some boxes for extra rewards. Now that we have the key, we're free to exit this room and move on to the ancient trap down the hall. We're instructed to toss a flash grenade to dispose of the Plagas on the ground before taking care of the falling ceiling in a swift manner, then looting the sarcophagus graves once we're safe. Another fun fact, this room has infinite spinels, as far as I can tell, and as long as you're willing to wait for them to randomly stream down. The guide doesn't mention that, but that's understandable because it's kind of a weird thing. After grabbing some items at the beginning of this room, the guide lets us get straight to it. We hop on the minecart and shoot some enemies on the scaffolding before shooting the lever to start the ride from hell. Avoiding taking damage from certain planks is the main goal until we get stopped about halfway and another chainsaw enemy appears. Our goal is to get the train moving again as fast as possible and then fend off the enemies that board our ride while it's on the move. After hitting a sharp spiral in the tracks, no one can cross carts anymore, and we're left to make a huge leap of faith and mash in order to avoid falling into the deep depths of the pit. Entering in the next room, we can head left to find some pesetas hidden in the wall. The guide says this is correlated to the enemies you killed before making it on the train, but I don't think that's true. It's always been pretty consistently the same number every time that I've found it. Now we can collect our new Stone of Sacrifice, opening the exit out of the mines. We head up and head straight to the lion door, placing the stone, opening the door to chapter 4-4, the battle with Salazar. This guy really loves himself, huh? This statue is exactly what compensating looks like. After the zealots cut off our exit, we ascend the stairs and shoot enemies on the platforms overhead, allowing our shots to simply topple them over the ledges before heading to the closest gate and blasting the red zealot a few times, but not killing him. Yeah. Now we can head up the ladder to jump on Robo Salazar's left hand and allowing it to rise us to the third floor. Blasting any enemies in the way of us jumping over, we make it across and loot a spindle before pulling the lever to raise the first platform in the center aisle. Now, jumping to the center platform, Robo Salazar should switch hand movement to the right hand, and we jump on it, rising to the third floor once again to grab some pesetas by smashing a pot and following a small path to a switch allowing both hands of Robo Salazar to move simultaneously. Riding the right hand to the second level, we break some pots to gain some treasure and finish off the red zealot from earlier for some easy money before pulling the lever to complete our bridge across. Equipping the shotgun, we head down the path and Robo Salazar comes to life. All we can do is follow the QTEs, which stands for Quick Time Events here, until we get to the end where we blast the lock off the door with a shotgun and rapidly sprint to a jump off the collapsing bridge, mashing to avoid a fall and then finally entering the tower where Salazar resides. After Salazar's left hand tries to have his way with us, we gain control and secure yellow herb and some handgun ammo from the left side of the room. Now we have to make our way up the stairs, dodging flaming barrels. Fortunately, the guide makes it simple, and all we need to do is step to the left at the scaffolding here. While crossing the wooden platforms, we slay the cultists dropping from above, then climb the ladder and get a sweet sense of justice by sending our own barrels down the stairs straight towards a new set of enemies that just entered the room. Following on up the tower, we again collect some items before pushing the crates off of the center lift in order to get it moving. The lift moves slow, and red zealots drop from the height the whole way to halt it by way of load capacity. All we have to do per the guide here is to shoot them, and take out some archers along the way by knocking them off their perches. Once at the top, it's another collection fest. This time we grab ourselves a red herb and a gold bangle hidden in a red chest before ascending one more lift to the tower apex. The merchant offers an armory's worth of ammo and some more tune-ups. We're given the option to purchase a rocket launcher here as well, in order to make the next room go as smoothly as possible. Salazar ate his left hand. That can't be healthy. We fight the newly created monster by shooting the central head in its bulging red eye with the TMP. Or shotgun. The guide gives us a choice here. Until enough damage is done to get our slimy little friend to show himself. Fortunately, Guide Guy likes rockets, so we end this battle very swiftly by giving Ramon an explosive haircut. Good night, my short king. You will be missed. We drop down to collect the remaining items in the room and then climb the ladder to take the whopping 50k reward from Salazar before heading through the door. Now outside, we shoot the barrels as we move through our seaside retreat. Yes, just shoot, until we come across a rope we can climb down to reach the lower level. Following the passage, we run into our merchant friend again, who has more brand new tune-ups and a room full of some more goodies. Once we're done with him, we head down the next passage to find Ada, waiting for us in a boat. We hitch a ride with her to the island and finally kiss the castle goodbye.
Need a ride, handsome?
Okay.
Now that we're finally on the island after a slight mishap with our boat ride with Mommy Ada,
See you later.
Women.
we can begin the final hurdle of the game. Starting on down the path, we remain straight on the fork in order to grab an emerald and some money before heading back to the fork and down the main path where we run into Ashley and see her being taken away. We are urged not to shoot the stoplight here, but instead jump across and get seen purposely. It sounds crazy, but the idea behind it is to get caught and then jump back over the gap we came across in order to shoot the enemies as soon as they come over the gap, causing them to fall. After going forward into the area a bit, we spawn a large enemy with a Gatling gun. Using this space and cover in the wall, we are able to snipe him with the rifle in the head multiple times to take him out and claim his 15k peseta prize. Now that the main enemy is down, we head up the stairs to investigate the lens, which activates a beam leading to a mirror. We head to the first mirror to turn to it, facing the beam to the second mirror. We climb the ladder and grab some free magnum ammo before heading over to the next mirror and lining the reflection up with the lens at the door, opening it. Proceeding through the door, all we have to do is grab some items including shotgun shells and a green herb as we make our way to the ladder to the next area. Now up the ladder and in the upper level, we turn left to obtain an emerald from nearby boxes, exit the tent to take out the guard standing outside, and secure some rifle ammo. An enemy screams out, letting us know he knows we're here. Jumping back out the window, we allow the 3 shock stick enemies to follow and easily take them out as they attempt to climb through the window themselves. Shooting this barrel will cause the wall behind it to collapse and reveal a red chest surrounded by spikes. Fortunately, there is a way around and we obtain the golden links from the chest, which is another item requiring 3 gems to increase its worth. Standing to the left of the cement blocks here, we're going to sniper crossbow user as well as any other visible enemies. After our options are exhausted, we will move up to the next cement block stand and continue taking out enemies, prioritizing the Ganado with a rocket in the center stage. Using a combination of explosive barrels and our enemy's dynamite, we take out the first layer. Heading up the hill, another group arrives. We head up the slope here in order to retrieve some more shotgun shells and a green herb after blasting any enemies out of our way. After emerging from the cave, we drop down quickly and head to the door at the very top of the hill. Wait for the enemies to cluster and then send the barrel wagon flaming down at them. Talk about a trip down memory lane here, huh? Oh, and not to mention, it didn't exactly go as planned on my playthrough, but it still did what it was supposed to. The wagon path here is supposed to reveal some TMP ammo hidden behind a niche in a wall blown up after the wagon hits it, but there was nothing there whenever I went in there. Now we can finally hit the switch to open the door and head down the slope. The merchant is here just chilling. But other than letting us know the Killer 7 exists here now, the guide doesn't require us to stop. So on down the slope, we stop and take cover at a pile of boxes, using our sniper to take out some enemies perched above before moving forward and into the kitchen. The kitchen is a simple area where all we have to do is collect every item here. Most notably, this hand grenade that I always love to pick up. Oh, and you can't forget this guy. Now in the control room, we are tasked with taking out the first failed football player we've seen so far and head down the stairs to do the same with another and some more enemies that rush down the stairs after our arrival. After collecting the items here to include the Redstone of Faith, which fits nicely on our new golden links, we head back upstairs to see Ashley almost get... Well, good thing the camera stopped. That could have been bad.
Amateurs.
Now in the armory, we proceed down the hall and loot the filing cabinets for their items, including ammo or jewelry. The merchant is here again and now sells the tactical vest, which the guide does mention, but I don't necessarily have enough money for it quite yet. So we're going to have to pass on it and play peekaboo with some dynamite ganados. Aiming with our rifle to trigger the ganado to open the door. Once it's open, all we need to do is shoot one of the enemies, causing them to drop their dynamite stick and killing everyone near him, allowing us to move on after collecting the remaining supplies. The stairwell corridor is creepy. The smelly door and cold door are locked and in need of some kind of keycard. Down the hallway, we stop to collect an incendiary grenade and some more free magnum ammo before entering the double doors at the end. In the autopsy room, we have to solve a colored light panel. Following the guide, we turn blue once, then green twice, and then red 3 times to get the door to open. We take the TMP ammo in this room and obtain the freezer keycard, causing the regenerator in this room to come to life. These things are flat out creepy. I mean, just listen to this thing. I can't wait to see what they're like in the RE4 remake. I'm so excited. According to the guide, we're not equipped to defeat him yet, so we're urged to flee the room into the hallway. Now harboring another regenerator, we will have to dodge to get into the freezer with our new keycard. In the freezer, our first goal is to rewrite the keycard we already have with the waste disposal area card, or smelly room. I like my name better, and then to deactivate the cryogenic freezer, unfreezing a infrared scope, causing a regenerator to come to life in this room. Now, we can see the Plagas inside the regenerator's body, giving us the ability to turn it into goo, and take its money. It's goo money. Yes, the goo has money. Back in the corridor, we are tasked with taking out all the regenerators in the hallway, then heading back to the autopsy room to dispose of the first one as well, netting us an emerald hidden in the room where he came from. Now we can head into the smelly room with our new keycard. In the smelly room, we get to play the crane game to take out some enemies. After 3 tries, the crane breaks and they rush our room where we make a stand against them if necessary. But it wasn't necessary this time because I've played enough crane game in my life. In the lower area, we examine the edge here for an important clue, then collect all the items in this room in the security room upstairs before heading through the next door. In the confinement corridor, there's not much for us but a screaming Ashley. Following her voice, we find some more Peakton High School guards at her door. We take them out and steal their money and interact with the door to get Ashley to chill out. We can't quite save her here yet though. The guide makes the administration corridor really easy. We open the first door here to get everyone's attention and allow them to funnel in the hallway we came from to take them out with ease. Then we collect all the items, including some more shotgun shells downstairs. Alright, enter Iron Maiden. Creepy, but cool. Also another thing I'm excited for when it comes to the remake. The guide has no specifics here, so all we have to do is take him out to obtain the storage room keycard. Even though Ashley's waiting, we have some exploring to do right now, so we loot everything in this room and head outside. Finally, we can murder some crows again. It has been a while. After taking them out, we head up to the radio tower for a special cutscene. Just static.
This is Leon. Request backup. I repeat, request backup.
We grab all the items in this area on our way back inside to save Ashley. The guide makes it easier. Go back to save Ashley. No specifics on the backtrack, so here we are. Chapter 5-1 complete and Ashley saved. Again.
Come on, let's get out of here.
We got Ashley back again. Yay! We get some free ammo here and a letter from our lover giving us a tip. After reading it, we command Ashley to stay inside the room and confront the group of enemies outside. It just says confront, not kill, so, hi, enemies. Bye, enemies. Back in the smelly room, we killed 3 enemies in the security room before a 4th locks us in. We kill him, then press the switch unlocking the door, allowing 3 more enemies to come into the room, which we simply have to blast with a shotgun once to clear the way to our dark descent into the trash.
No way, Leon.
Way.
More Iron Maidens. Moving forward in this room causes them to spring to life, so we simply lower the gate in order to slow one down significantly so we can run to the back of the room and hide Ashley in the green dumpster and collect some rifle ammo. Opening the next gate and closing it behind us, we barrage the Iron Maiden until it implodes. We call Ashley to our position to help us push a large red crate in order to create a bridge across the sewage and gaining us some more items and ammo. We command Ashley to hide once again while we take out another Iron Maiden, each getting us 20k pesetas for our troubles. We whistle for Ashley to help us with another red crate to progress to the next room. In the incinerator hallway, we have Ashley wait at the door before we charge forward to clear the hallway of enemies. After dropping down in the main area, more enemies appear that we blast with our shotgun, attempting to knock a few in the central lava pit. In the control room, we have Ashley pull the lever to the wrecking ball while we back in the corner and blast any enemies that attempt to come in either door. As soon as Ashley has cleared the path, we are cleared to move on. More regenerators appear in the basement passage. We open the first shutter revealing the regenerator and immediately close it and head down the path to our side here. Aiming through the bars in the door, we take down the regenerator and loot the room for any items. We do the same thing with another regenerator down the hall. Bait him down a hallway, kill him, loot the area, except this time we send Ashley on her own to open the door for us. She did a great job. There's a merchant behind a door here with nothing new for us, and a yellow and red herb for our taking. We place Ashley at one side of the door and ourselves at the other, and perfectly time the light in the middle to open our way into the bulldozer room. We grab the items waiting for us here and then hop on.
Leave it to me, Leon.
Yes, Ashley is driving. The guy's extremely loose here. All we have to do is survive the assault of enemies and take out the truck that tries to assault us. Once we have to activate the lift, all we have to do is activate the lift. As long as we're fast enough, we don't have to worry about any enemies getting to Ashley. We're fast enough. Once up the lift, we equip the TMP and use it, as it is supposedly easier to shoot overhead enemies down before having the chance to drop on top of us. At the end of this passage, another truck faces our front. We shoot its grill to knock it off track, and Ashley wrecks the dozer into a nearby building because she just didn't trust us. The mess hall we end up in has nothing to eat, but it does have plenty of treasure, including the green stone of judgment for our golden links. And the merchant is here, but the guy doesn't even acknowledge his existence this time. Sorry, bud. After the room is clear, we head in the next room where we run into Sadler, who unfortunately takes Ashley again, leaving us alone with our thoughts one last time.
It's already begun.
5-3 is somewhat of a boss rush of a chapter, so as long as the guide isn't too tight, we can get through it pretty quickly. Before leaving the room we're in, we grab some gold out of a niche by the stairs and read up about Sadler's plan. The next room is nothing but a fight. We're instructed to take out all the enemies and grab the random items drop, as well as a flash grenade and emerald before moving on. We'll grab an item before taking the lift up and running into our old friend Jack Krauser. The guide only says for us to be prepared for our QTEs. So we survive them as they come up and go through the scene until Ada comes to our rescue. We were totally fine. We totally had that under control, Ada.
Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Looks like we have the upper hand here.
To get through the throne room, we simply have to survive the lasers, which I completely failed at several times. But after doing some action maneuvers, we're able to get to the other side where the throne lies. We shoot down an elegant headdress from the ceiling here and claim a free emerald before interacting with the throne to have Leon, quote-unquote, act weird for a moment, as the guide says. Then we head down to the next area. In the cave entrance, we're tasked with collecting items like emerald and a red and green herb before entering U3's playground. We grab some more ammo and a yellow herb, this time equipping our shotgun right after. As we head up the path, it appears and we're knocked into his playground. We blast the monster with the shotgun until it disappears from view, then move through the jettison, grabbing items and blasting the green light of the shutter to open it, revealing a switch behind it. Once hit, we only have 30 seconds to get to the exit, or else we'll be taking a dive with it. The next two compartments are the same gist. Collect items and hit switches to get to the end. In the third one, U3 mutates into a hentai monster, but that doesn't stop us from grabbing the hook and escaping the playground and equipping the magnum as instructed before the monster comes out to play. The strategy for U3 is to move to the right and gate it, similar to the Iron Maidens from earlier. We take several magnum shots at its weak spot before it breaks through, which is when we continue down the passage and shoot the explosive barrel as it comes next to it, allowing us to throw another switch and repeat the process once again for more damage. We should be able to defeat it here without having to use any further strategy. And we did. Once U3 is defeated, we grab its cold hard 50k in cash, grab a green herb on the way out, and take the ladder to the campground. We climb the second ladder and collect the ammo and grenades here. We open the door quietly as to not alert the enemies so we can knife the box and take some ammo. We creep up to the ledge with a sniper rifle and shoot the exploding barrel, causing a chain reaction, destroying literally almost the entire campground. After any stragglers are taken down, we are free to loot the entire area, where we can find the blue stone of treason, the last piece to our fancy golden links. No need to visit the merchant, so we head up the ladder and through the large double doors. We found Krauser, and he's trying to shoot us. We head up the stairs to the first building and quickly grab the items before heading up the ladder to make a stand against Krauser because the door is on a timer. We're able to do enough damage to him this time, and he throws a flash grenade before the door opens. Krauser is up on the building at the end of the bridge, so take cover behind the pillar and use the sniper rifle to hit him, continuing to snipe him after he jumps down, which is extremely hard. I'm not sure why this is the strategy. We jump inside the building, collecting all the items, and head to grab the piece of the Holy Beast Panther. Krauser shows up again, and after we fend him off, we have to do a short push puzzle in order to unblock our way, and once clear, we head down to the lower area where Krauser's toys reign. We use a handgun to get through this area, and once Krauser addresses Leon, we are inclined to respond by the guide.
I passed, I suppose. But, umbrella.
Now at the top of the circular tower, we collect all the items before grabbing the eagle piece and triggering Krauser to go absolutely cray-cray and mutate his arm off.
Prepare for your death, Leon.
Firstly, we dodge Krauser's initial attack and get on our feet, and we are instructed to use a magnum once again. Strategy is to take out his knees and then shoot his head, and when he gets close, just back away and set it up again. The guide doesn't say it, so I won't be using it, but for your viewer knowledge, Krauser is extremely weak to the knife. You can take him out in literally seconds with that, but using the magnum strategy really isn't so bad either, as long as you have the ammo. Krauser's defeated. The serpent piece is ours. All we have to do is hurry to the door before the timer runs out and place our pieces to head to chapter 5-4. 5-4 is a war zone nice enough to give us a green herb after our battle with Arm Man. That's it. Or is it? Up the hill, a new character appears in our favor for once. It's Mike, the helicopter pilot. Our backup finally has come to us. We work in tandem with Mike and his helicopter to fight through the first portion of this area, getting us to a door with a large padlock. Breaking the lock, we enter and fortunately can just leave. No fighting necessary here. Moments after stepping out, a Gatling gun commando makes his way out, in which we make our way into a nearby wooden shack to fend off oncoming enemies while avoiding a rain of bullets. Once clear, we dash up to the top of the hill and take aim with our rifle, shooting the commando in the head as many times as it takes to knock him down. Then take the zipline down to claim his rewards of 15k pesetas and pull the switch to open the shutters to the next area. After searching the area for any items, we head through the door. The shutter door closes behind us and we quickly head up to the sandbags to take cover. In between fire, we make a run for the tunnel to our left and climb up the ladder, using the cover at the top to wait out the next round of enemy fire. We make our way to a tall metal wall in the center and are required to stay here until Mike shoots down at least 2 towers before we can move per the guide, which worked out pretty well for us because he actually shot him down before we even got here. Once that's done, we grab some shotgun shells and then proceed to wait again for Mike to destroy the west tower before maneuvering on it in order to hit the first switch to raise our exit. We're instructed to kill the last dozen or so enemies of the area on our own before moving to the second lever and pulling it, opening the exit. In the next area, we have to say goodbye to our new winged friend much too soon.
When we get out of here, drinks are on me.
Yeah, hey, I know a good bar.
Mike gets shot down, but not before raising hell and killing multiple enemies for us to loot all their items. We'll avenge you, Mike. I promise. In the next area, Leon attempts to OJ Ada under the control of the parasite in his body. But she's a strong woman and breaks free. In this room, we can also collect a pearl pendant we should probably give to Ada with an apology next time we see her after the way we acted. In the penitentiary, all we have to do is collect the items in the creepy hallway. This guy, he knows what I mean. We also face the final regenerator of the game here, getting one last 5,000 pesetas out of them. Alright, this is it. This is the final army. The guide isn't too specific on how we take these guys out, other than we have to take them all out. 2 minigun guys and countless ganados flood the room. Examining either green-lit consoles or the door will trigger an event where a ganados comes through, stealing a keycard that activates them. We take them out using some exploding barrels and reinsert the keycard swiftly. We press the 2 switches on the consoles in order to finally open the door. Two shield enemies are the last stand, which we shoot with a shotgun and flash with a flash grenade to get rid of their remaining plagas, which the guide says they're supposed to have. Finally, we've rescued Ashley again and found a room full of treasure once again, including 2 5k gold bars and a merchant for us to see. We take out the enemies in the final corridor with grenades and shotgun blasts to clear the path and head to the capsule room where we saved Ashley in order to grab some more free ammo before heading back and finally being able to extract the plagas out of both Ashley and Leon. Now all that's left is the final battle. We're We're now in the final chapter. This is it. The culminating event. The end of the game. Do we live? Do we save the president's daughter? Find out in the next episode of... No, I'm just kidding. We're given the option to confer with the merchant one last time and are told to upgrade our shotgun as much as possible for the upcoming fight, as well as given the option to purchase a rocket launcher for a quick kill. But we actually decided not to go with that this time because, you know, why not kill the last boss the right way, you know? Once done with the merchant, we head to the elevator and take it up to see our lover strung up by another man. Strung up and in distress.
Ada!
Sadler shows his true grotesque-looking form and the battle begins. We have to shoot Sadler's legs, eyes, tentacle things in order to knock him down and stun him so we can stab him in the main eye with our knife. We're also given the option of using exploding barrels or the rafters on the side to knock Sadler off his brand new 4 legs. Whatever it takes to get that main eyeball to come out according to the guide. So, me being me, I did them all for fun. And honestly, just hitting Sadler with those rafters is so satisfying every time. I don't know how to explain it. Another strategy I like to do here is to actually shoot the eye with the Magnum to do more damage and end this a bit faster if you don't have a rocket. But we've got a guide to follow here this time. About halfway through the fight, Ada comes to our rescue, dropping us a special red rocket launcher. After knocking Sadler down one last time, we shoot him with the power of our love, friendship, in her words, and Sadler is defeated. The guide says the amount of pesetas Sadler drops is indicative of how many legs you destroy, but I'm pretty sure it's always 100k. Ada gives us the key to our escape after starting a timer to blow up the entire island. It really is love. With our escape route in sight, we go back to Ashley and head down the last corridor. We catch Ashley and avoid looking up her skirt one last time and get on the jet ski, gunning it as the time continues to tick down and portions of the island begin to explode. The light is near. The end of the tunnel. We can see it, and we make it. We finally saved the president's daughter exactly as Capcom intended.
Ashley! Ashley! Where are ya?
Leon!
Come on. Let's go home.
Don't worry, guys. I checked. It doesn't stop her from trying to sleep with you at the end.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
Well, that was it. Completing Resident Evil 4 like this was definitely an experience, and even I learned some new things after all the hours I've dumped into this game already. It did feel a little tedious at times, almost like a simple collect-a-thon of items, but for a casual experience, you'll never struggle with the main game if you follow this guide. There's also a very small portion for Assignment Ada here, so if you guys want a short video on playing that as intended, let me know in the comments down below. Unfortunately, there's nothing on Separate Ways, as it wasn't in the game in the very original release, which is what this guide is about, the GameCube version. Anyways, that's going to be it for me for this one, so if you enjoyed this video and made it this far, go ahead and subscribe for me for more horror game content, and if you like, you can also follow me on Twitch, where I like to play a variety of horror games. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.